How to Create a Glitch Monologues Season 11 Chapter 4. This is Season 11 of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix Monologues Episode 4. In this episode we will be talking about retrograde calibration, a new concept. I will return to the 6-unit class in the next episode. Emotional calibration was a word I used to explain the concept by which emotional memories of particular eras were used to recapitulate the histories and ideological struggles of an era. This commonly would occur through style, which acts as an anchor for the underlying memories of the era. So, for example, as a directed process, individuals will be directed to recapitulate, say, the 70s by returning 70s style to prevalence. Retrograde calibration involves the use of triggers to recapitulate an era within the ancestral history of an individual. Rather than collectively calibrating the populace to a common memory, retrograde calibration will have the effect of drawing out and reliving memories that are ancestral, which has an effect of resetting the individual to that identity. So, for example, a person may be told that in a new friend's culture it is normal for a man's wife to have relations also with her cousin. This may trigger a memory which is similar, involving a similar encounter in the past. For example, let's say the person hearing this has Jewish ancestry. This triggers a memory of encountering the Canaanites in Deuteronomy. The person may experience a historical era as a living thing during this episode, which will return him to a state of fidelity to their roots. The presence of triggers for these memories will coincide to the extent that these living eras remain embedded in the present. They will remain living eras to the extent that they were not completely expunged by historical genocides. As another example, let's say that Marianne sees someone replicate a gesture which triggers a memory of a Gnostic ritual performed by her ancestor, prior to being forcibly converted by the Catholic Church. This will trigger an experience which may last a moment or an hour, during which she will experience the feelings of her ancestor directly. She will find herself preoccupied with thoughts or reminiscences over Gnostic ideas. These triggered ancestral memory experiences play out as direct overlays upon the experiences of the individual. Others will take on archetypal roles in the narrative and will direct the conversation in such a fashion so as to accentuate the reliving of the memory. In fact, it is accurate to say, as Philip K. Dick in fact did, the empire never ended. Just as it is accurate to say that the Exodus continues to this day. The point is that time is elastic. Eras don't necessarily stay in the past, nor the future beyond the present. Now, a web of association must have two dimensions to it. In the first, it must have an ideal component, a numerical component, and in the second, it must have a narrative component. Both must be intermingled and so embedded. The purpose of the ideal or numerical is to draw that individual into the ideal. The purpose of the narrative is to draw the individual back into social experience. Narrative does this by acting as an overlay upon the present experiences of the individual through examples such as given with regards to retrograde calibration. Thus, if we truly wanted our 6 primordial unit class to succeed as a web of associations, it would also have to have its own narrative and creation story to go along with it, with all the symbolic, archetypal and esoteric trappings of that. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.